At only 12 years old, she would become the final victim of one of America's most notorious serial killers. This is the heartbreaking case of Kimberly Leach. Kimberly was from Lake City, Florida, and in 1978, she was only 12 years old and in the 7th grade. Everyone who knew her said she was sweet, kind, caring. She got straight A's, and she was actually nominated to be the Valentine Princess at her school's Valentine's dance. She was super excited to go shopping with her mom to buy a dress, and she loved spending time with her friends. She had her whole life ahead of her. That is until February 9th of 1978. Because on this day, Kimberly made it to her first period class when her homeroom teacher called her back to her classroom because Kimberly had forgotten her purse. So Kimberly went back to that classroom and never returned. Reports from a student and a staff member that they saw Kimberly talking to a man in a white van. The kid didn't know who the guy was, and the staff member assumed that it was just Kimberly's dad picking her up. The school then calls Kimberly's parents, Tom and Frida, and lets them know that she never made it back to her first period class and that she was seen talking to a man in a white van. This is when they call authorities and report her missing. And of course, authorities first say she ran away, but they knew that was not the case. Police quickly realized that Kimberly was not a runaway, and this is when everyone started to search for this little girl. They had flyers and billboards, but sadly nothing came of it. And then 2 months later, they would find the remains of Kimberly Leach in a hog shed. She had been SA'd and brutally murdered. After finding Kimberly's remains, they were able to tie this crime back to serial killer Ted Bundy. They had arrested him and found the white van, and inside of this van, they found fibers matching the clothes of Kimberly and Kimberly's blood in the van. The evidence against Bundy was overwhelming, and this was one of his only victims that left any kind of forensic evidence behind, so he wasn't going to get out this. Bundy would ultimately be sentenced to the electric chair for what he did to Kimberly. But this isn't really about Ted Bundy. This is about Kimberly Leach, the 12-year-old girl who was smart, funny, close with her family. She was an amazing friend. She just got her first boyfriend. She was excited for a school dance. She was a person who mattered and not just one of Ted Bundy's victims.